who likes reading and is at all aware of the existence of 19th century literature probably knows about the Goliath that is the Count of Monte Cristo. And if you don't know anything about it, it was written by Alexandre Dumas in the 1840s as a serial, meaning it was released in parts, kind of like how we have like weekly released TV shows right now. It follows the story of a sailor named Edmond Dante who gets framed for a crime he didn't commit and thrown into forever prison. While he's in forever prison, he learns about this epic collection of treasures and money on the island of Monte Cristo. So when he eventually escapes prison, he uses this newfound wealth to go wreak absolute havoc on the lives of the people that fucked him over. Again, pretty simple plot to summarize. That is just the general synopsis you'll get on the back of like any copy of the book. And it does sound simple enough. But this book was not a simple experience. I wasn't even done when I decided, oh, this is like read of the year. Oh, this is getting 5 stars. Because I just think Alexandre Dumas was a fucking lunatic. In a good way. He was a skilled lunatic. Because my edition, is 1,243 pages long. So, I think it takes a lot of skill to keep someone engaged for that many pages. Especially, like, 200 years after the book was released. And it makes sense why people are scared to read this book, but I wanted to make this video specifically for those people. If any of you are reading this, and... not reading. If any of you are watching this, and... and you're thinking about picking this book up, I'm here to convince you that it is 100% worth your time, and hopefully you'll come out of this not being as scared to pick it up. And because of that, there will be no spoilers in this book. This isn't like a summary. This is just me glazing Alexandre Dumas for however long this video is. Without further ado, let us get started. Like I said, everyone is scared of how long this book is. When I picked this up at Barnes & Noble, and I, like, had it in my hand, I was like, oh my god, I am dreading the day I have to read this. So it makes sense that a lot of people opt to just read an abridged version, but I do not think reading an abridged version can do this book justice. Despite how long it is, this book had me engaged from cover to cover. I just did not want to put it down, ever. And again, I think that's really impressive. Every character in this book, every subplot, everything that just feels like it'd be unnecessary is, like, just written in a way that keeps it so, like, and again, keeps the readers so engaged despite everything. And I'm gonna admit, obviously there are parts that made me go, like, okay, Dumas, we get it, you're getting paid by the line to write this. But that didn't, like, dampen, like, my enjoyment of the book. Because I knew that whatever I was reading was gonna pay off, and again, I didn't, like, feel any, like, oh my god, this is such a fucking slog anytime while I was reading. Just, like, the general feeling of, like, you can really tell sometimes that this guy was getting paid by, like, the line to write this. And again, everyone knows this book is a classic, but it is just one of those books that will constantly have you go, oh my god, this book is a classic for a reason. It will stay in your brain for so long after you finish it. Take it from me. I mentioned earlier that this book was serialized, so it wasn't released all at once. And I just think that's important to bring up when reading it, because I don't want anyone to, like, force themselves to read this book, like, really fast or anything. Take your time with it. If you are scared by the length and you think it's gonna take you a while, so fucking what? This book took me a little over a month to finish, but I know people who have been reading this book for, like, a year, so no harm in just, like, taking it easy. And I do want to give credit to this specific edition, the Penguin Classics edition, the translation by Robin Buss. It really helped make this book more digestible, I think. Like, it's obvious you're reading a book that was written in the 19th century, but it just really helped. Just made everything flowed so well, and I was always excited to pick this book up, despite how fucking long it was. Everyone is reading this book for the same reason. The revenge plot. Everybody is obsessed with the story of Edmund's revenge. That goes without saying. It is, like, the first thing you tell people when you're explaining the plot of the book. And I did kind of go into it thinking the message would just be like, revenge is super hot and sexy, actually. And, like, it's kind of that, but, like, not really. Because Dumas really gets into, like, the nitty-gritty of, like, what does this revenge mean? Not just for Edmund, but, like, everyone else in the story. Like, really just makes you think how does this affect people, like, deep down? Because revenge is not just some, like, one-way, flawless journey. Like, you know what I mean? This book does not gloss over how many times Edmund fumbles throughout his journey. And I just think that adds so much to the plot, because it really drives home that Edmund is a really, like, just a regular-ass human outside of his epic quest for vengeance. And I think it does the book a bit of a disservice just to act like that's all the messaging is, like, revenge is hot and sexy, because I feel like the revenge plot is just, like, a smaller part of the grander messaging. Like, I really liked how much the book dived into, like, injustice, like, political injustice, people in power, and how, like, they abuse their positions, and just how much power can corrupt. Or, like, humanity, like I mentioned. Edmund is a human. Every person in this book is a human, no matter what they do, or what happens to them. And I think Dumas did a flawless job of, like, sending that messaging forward with the characters. Because, again, like I said, every character in this book serves a purpose, and every subplot and interaction serves a purpose. I was always interested in every single character, regardless of how involved they were in Edmund's personal life. And that is, I think, the best part of this book for me, that I was just so engaged, so enraptured in this story, in these characters, no matter what. I think Dumas is an amazing writer in that regard. It blowed me away just how much I cared for everybody in this book. I will not stop, like, singing his praises for that. The Count of Monte Cristo changed my life. I'm only exaggerating a little bit, but oh my god, this book was such a whirlwind of emotions. It is nothing like you're gonna expect it to be going into it. I have to say that. Whatever your expectations are for this book, throw them out the window. It is nothing like you think it's gonna be. And I just, again, did not want to put it down ever. I am so pleasantly surprised at how quickly this book captured my attention, and it just did not let go until the very final page. And again, I do have to praise this specific translation. Not only is it just, like, a really good English translation, all the notes at the end of this are so useful. It gives a lot of historical context that would have totally flown over my head otherwise. So, shout out, Penguin Classics. And if you are interested in reading this book, the subreddit A Reading of Monte Cristo is hosting their yearly read-along on the 1st of January, 2026. So if you're interested in reading, but, like, you're kind of scared to, like, set off on that on your own, they do, like, discussion questions, and it's just, I think it'll be a really nice experience. I wasn't part of it, I read this all on myself, but I did sometimes go on their discussion pages when I finished reading a chapter, just because, like, oh my god, what are people saying about this? That's all I had to say for this video, really. I do want to add on really quickly. I have a Ko-Fi now. It's linked in my channel links, so if you're liking my content, feel free to drop a tip, but only if you can. Please do not ever feel forced to give me money. It's just, like, an extra thing you can do to support me if you want. I never, ever, ever want people to feel forced to give me money. But that's all I had to say, really. I do hope I convinced at least one person that this 1,243 page book from the 1800s is worth it.